There's a Rolls-Royce sitting in a private garage right now that cost more than $30 million. Not a Bugatti, not a 1,000-horsepower hypercar. No turbo, no lap time. But here's the twist. The engine isn't why it costs that much. Not even close. Today, we're counting down the 11 most expensive Rolls-Royces ever built. And the reason number 1 costs more than a fleet of Bugattis has nothing to do with speed at all. Let's get into it. Number 11. Rolls-Royce Ghost Black Badge. We're starting at the entry point of this list, and even that phrase feels ridiculous here because the Ghost Black Badge still runs north of $450,000. Let that sink in. The cheapest car on this entire countdown costs more than most houses in America. The Ghost is supposed to be Rolls-Royce's understated model, the one you drive yourself instead of being chauffeured around in. The Black Badge version takes that idea and adds a dark, almost menacing twist. The chrome is gone, replaced with gloss black. The famous Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament, normally silver, comes finished in black chrome. Under the hood sits a twin-turbo V12, producing well over 600 horsepower, tuned specifically for Black Badge models to hit harder and rev more aggressively than a standard Ghost. Inside, Rolls-Royce does something almost nobody else in the industry can pull off. They call it the Starlight Headliner. Thousands of fiber optic lights woven into the roof, lining by hand, each one placed to mimic a real constellation. It takes days of pure handwork just to finish the ceiling of one car. The Ghost Black Badge is the accessible Rolls-Royce, and even saying that out loud feels absurd. This is where the list begins. It only gets more insane from here. Number 10. Rolls-Royce Cullinan Series 2 Black Badge. If the Ghost is the Rolls-Royce you drive to the office, the Cullinan is the one you take off-roading. And yes, that sentence is real. This is Rolls-Royce's first ever SUV, and the Black Badge Series 2 version pushes past $500,000 once a buyer starts customizing it, which every buyer does. Under that enormous hood is the same 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12 found across the Rolls-Royce lineup, but here it's tuned for a different job, hauling nearly 3 tons of British luxury over rough terrain without spilling a drop of champagne in the back seat. And yes, some owners genuinely order the champagne cooler in the trunk. It's a real option. What makes the Cullinan wild isn't just the size or the power, it's the contradiction. This is a vehicle capable of wading through nearly 20 inches of water, climbing loose gravel, and handling snow, and it still rides like a floating hotel suite. Rolls-Royce engineers spent years making sure that even on a dirt road, the cabin stays library quiet. Owners don't buy a Cullinan to save money on gas or to blend in at the school pickup line. They buy it because it's the only SUV in the world that feels like it was built by people who've never once thought about a budget. Quick side note, most car problems come from small things people overlook. I put together a simple longevity guide based on everything I've learned, and it walks you through exactly what to watch for. It's linked in the description below. Number 9. Rolls-Royce Phantom Series 2 Extended Wheelbase. Now we're getting into serious territory. The Phantom is the flagship, the car that defines what a Rolls-Royce actually is, and the extended wheelbase version stretches things even further, both literally and financially. Prices climb well past $650,000 before a single custom option gets added. The extended wheelbase adds several inches of legroom to the rear seats because Phantom buyers are rarely the ones driving. They're the ones being driven. The rear compartment can be configured almost like a private jet cabin with reclining seats, a fold-out table, and lighting designed to make you look better on a video call than you do in real life. Under the hood, a twin-turbocharged V12 produces enough torque to move this 2.5-ton machine in near-total silence. Rolls-Royce engineers famously use a wall of sound measurement in development, obsessing over frequencies most car companies wouldn't even bother testing, just to make sure road noise, wind noise, and engine noise disappear completely. The Phantom Series 2 isn't about being fast, it's about being untouchable. It's the car a head of state rides in. It's the car built for people who've already won and just need somewhere quiet to sit while they enjoy it. Number 8. Rolls-Royce Wraith Black Badge Amethyst Collection. Only 35 of these were ever built worldwide, and that number alone should tell you everything. Amethyst comes from the Greek word for diamond, and Rolls-Royce didn't pick that name lightly. Each of the 35 Wraiths in this collection features real diamond dust infused into the paintwork, a process so delicate that Rolls-Royce had to develop a completely custom technique just to get it right. The Wraith itself is already the fastest and most powerful Rolls-Royce ever put into regular production, using the same twin-turbo V12 as the rest of the lineup, but tuned here to push past 600 horsepower with a genuinely sporty character. 0 to 60 comes in well under 4.5 seconds, which sounds impossible for a car this heavy until you remember Rolls-Royce doesn't build fast. They build effortless. Each Amethyst collection car came individually numbered, with a bespoke instrument panel showing exactly which unit it is out of the 35. Prices for these on the used market now regularly clear $500,000, and that's assuming an owner is even willing to sell. This isn't a car, it's a piece of numbered art that happens to do 0 to 60 in under 4.5 seconds. Number 7. Rolls-Royce Phantom Tempest Collection. Rolls-Royce built the Tempest Collection to explore something almost nobody talks about with cars, the idea of time itself. Each Phantom in this ultra-limited run features artwork depicting the cosmos across the dashboard, using a technique that took Rolls-Royce artisans years to perfect. Tiny lume particles, the same material used in luxury watch dials, are hand-painted onto the fascia to represent the night sky. Prices for a Tempest Collection Phantom start north of $1 million once fully specified, and buyers don't just get a car, they get a piece tied directly to the world of high horology, the art of fine watchmaking. Rolls-Royce partnered with watch designers to translate the same obsessive precision found in a $100,000 timepiece onto the surface of an automobile. Under all that artistry still sits the same relentless twin-turbo V12, because no matter how artistic Rolls-Royce gets, the engineering underneath never gets neglected. This is a company that will spend 3 years perfecting a painted constellation on a dashboard and still make sure the car rides like glass. Only a handful of Tempest Collection Phantoms were ever built, and most of them will spend their entire lives in private collections, admired far more than they're ever actually driven. Number 6. Rolls-Royce Phantom Oribe. This is where things start getting genuinely rare. The Oribe is a one-off Phantom, meaning exactly one exists in the entire world, commissioned by a single client and inspired by centuries-old Japanese Oribe ceramic art. Rolls-Royce's Bespoke design team spent years studying the pottery style, translating its irregular glazes and organic imperfections into automotive paint and interior finishes that had never been attempted before. The exterior uses a custom two-tone finish meant to echo the texture of hand-glazed ceramics, something that sounds simple until you learn Rolls-Royce had to develop entirely new painting processes just to replicate it convincingly on a car body. Inside, wood veneers and leather stitching were designed to mirror the same organic, one-of-a-kind imperfections found in real Oribe pottery, meaning no two panels in the entire car are meant to look identical. Rolls-Royce doesn't publish a price for the Oribe, and that's intentional. When a car is built once for one person, there's no price list to check against, no dealership sticker, nothing. Estimates from collectors and industry insiders place bespoke one-offs like this well into 8 figures once you account for the multi-year design and engineering process behind it. The Oribe isn't a Rolls-Royce with options. It's a museum piece somebody happens to be allowed to drive. Before we keep going, if this kind of over-the-top automotive insanity is exactly your thing, do us a favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling us which car on this list you'd want if money truly meant nothing, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because the cars from here forward are almost too extreme to believe. Number 5. Rolls-Royce Sweptail. For years, this was the single most expensive new car ever sold. Full stop. Commissioned by an anonymous billionaire client and unveiled back in 2017, the Sweptail carried a price tag widely reported at around $13 million, and it earned every cent of that number. The client wanted a modern car that captured the spirit of early 20th century coach-built Rolls-Royces, the kind of vehicles built one at a time by hand before mass production ever existed. So Rolls-Royce's design team essentially built a brand new car from scratch, using only phantom underpinnings as a starting point. The rear of the car tapers into a dramatic, yacht-like point, a design choice so distinctive it directly inspired the boat tail and the entire drop-tail lineup that followed years later. Inside, the client requested a panoramic sunroof that mimics the feeling of a starlit sky when the car is parked at night, along with a champagne cooler built into the rear deck, complete with 2 custom crystal flutes, shaped to match the car's design language exactly. Every stitch, every wood grain, every proportion was decided specifically for one owner and will never be replicated for anybody else. The Sweptail took 4 years to build. 4 years for one car, for one person. That's not manufacturing. That's devotion. Number 4. Rolls-Royce Amethyst Droptail. Here's where Rolls-Royce enters a category that barely makes sense next to the rest of the automotive world. The Droptail collection is limited to just 4 cars total, ever, and the Amethyst is the second of them, inspired entirely by the purple gemstone it's named after. The exterior uses an ethereal, almost glowing purple finish that shifts tone depending on the light hitting it. Inside, the dashboard incorporates open-pore wood alongside genuine amethyst crystal built directly into the gauge cluster, and purple-tinted carbon fiber that took Rolls-Royce's coach build division countless attempts to perfect without cracking or discoloring. A Vacheron Constantin tourbillon watch, one of the most respected names in Swiss horology, is integrated into the dashboard and can be removed and worn by the owner. Rolls-Royce hasn't publicly confirmed an exact price for the Amethyst, but industry estimates place it in the same $25 to $30 million range as its drop-tail siblings. Remember, only 4 of these cars exist in total, each with its own owner, its own theme, and its own multi-year development process behind it. This isn't a trim level. It's closer to owning a piece from a private jewelry collection that also happens to have a V12 engine. Number 3. Rolls-Royce Arcadia Droptail. This is the car that briefly became the most expensive new automobile ever sold, with a reported price tag of $31 million, delivered privately to a client in Singapore. The name Arcadia comes from Greek mythology, referring to an unspoiled, peaceful paradise, and Rolls-Royce built an entire design language around that single idea. The exterior wears a shade called timeless white, a paint embedded with actual aluminum and glass particles, so it shimmers depending on the angle of the sun. Rolls-Royce's head of coach build design described the car's significance as coming from its subtlety, a deliberate choice to build something breathtaking without ever shouting about it. Inside, open-pore wood and tropical-inspired detailing carry the paradise theme through every surface a passenger can touch. Underneath all of that restraint still sits a twin-turbo V12, because even Rolls-Royce's most artistic, most poetic creation refuses to compromise on how it actually drives. This is a car built to feel serene at any speed, in any setting, for an owner who could genuinely buy almost anything on Earth and chose this instead. 3 of the 4 Droptails have now been revealed. 1 remains a complete mystery, and we'll get to that. Number 2. Rolls-Royce Rose Noire Droptail, the first of the 4 Droptails, unveiled at Pebble Beach in 2023 and reportedly priced between $30 and $32 million, depending on the source you trust. The name translates to the Black Rose, and the entire car was built as a tribute to the Black Baccara rose, a dark, velvety flower adored by the matriarch of the family who commissioned it. This single car took 4 years to complete, not because the engineering was difficult, but because the craftsmanship demanded absolute perfection. The dashboard alone contains 1,603 individual pieces of black sycamore veneer, hand-placed to form an abstract pattern resembling falling rose petals. Rolls-Royce artisans reportedly worked in silence in short shifts, specifically to avoid the risk of a single mistake ruining months of labor. The paint, named True Love, wasn't pulled from any existing catalog. Rolls-Royce developed it from scratch, testing more than 150 experimental shades before settling on a color that shifts from deep red to near black, depending on the light around it. Like the other drop tails, a removable timepiece, this one, echoing the family's love of fine watches, sits integrated into the dashboard. This car was never built to be sold. It was built to be felt by one family for the rest of their lives. Number 1. Rolls-Royce Boat Tail. And here it is. Only 3 boat tails exist in the entire world, and each one was built entirely around its individual owner's life, tastes, and passions. This isn't a car you purchase off a lot. It's a years-long commission, a relationship between Rolls-Royce's coach build division and a client wealthy enough to treat an automobile like a piece of custom architecture. From the outside, the boat tail looks exactly like its name suggests, an elegant yacht translated into automotive form. That elongated rear deck isn't just styling. It conceals what Rolls-Royce calls a hosting suite, a fully functional setup complete with a chilled champagne cooler, custom crystal glassware, and fold-out furniture designed for entertaining guests roadside, at a regatta, or literally anywhere the owner decides to stop. One of the 3 known boat tails was reportedly commissioned by a client with a deep passion for astronomy and a favorite champagne and caviar pairing, both of which were woven directly into the car's design in ways no factory option list could ever offer. Reported pricing for a single boat tail sits around $28 million, though given the fully custom nature of these commissions, no 2 owners paid the exact same amount for the exact same thing. And remember that 4th drop tail we mentioned? The one that hasn't been revealed yet. Somewhere in Rolls-Royce's coach build facility in Goodwood, England. Right now, a team of artisans is finishing a car that will likely top every single price on this list the moment it's unveiled. Nobody outside Rolls-Royce and one anonymous family knows what it looks like yet. When it finally appears, it may not just be the most expensive Rolls-Royce ever built. It may become the most expensive new car the world has ever seen. Full stop. That's the truth about Rolls-Royce. A Lamborghini or a Bugatti sells you speed. Rolls-Royce sells you something almost nobody else in the auto industry even attempts. Time, obsession, and a level of craftsmanship so extreme that spreadsheets stop mattering. Every car on this list, from the entry-level Ghost all the way to the boat tail, represents thousands of human hours spent on details that 99% of the world will never even notice. And that's exactly the point. If this video opened your eyes to a side of the car world you didn't know existed, you know what to do. Smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than you'd think. Drop a comment and tell us honestly, if price meant absolutely nothing, which one of these 11 would you actually choose to own? The boat tail's yacht-inspired elegance, or the mystery and heartbreak baked into the Rose Noire? We read every single comment, and we love seeing which cars our community connects with the most. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell, because we've got another deep dive into the world's most extreme, most exclusive automotive engineering dropping soon. And trust us, you don't want to miss it. Until next time, keep dreaming big, and we'll see you on the next one.